I would start at the very basics, and we need to look at the textbooks. The textbooks need to be redesigned so that it's reflective of American culture, of the culture we live in. There's a great book, The Things My Social Studies Teacher Never Taught Me. Those things in there that were never taught, Columbus from the Native American perspective, that's what needs to be taught in all high schools. That shouldn't just be taught in high schools that have a large Native American population and the families are demanded. We see both sides. That should just be a standard part of the history curriculum. We should look in our books. Our books should be very diverse. Our curriculums, it should just be expected that when I'm discussing the 1700s, when I'm talking about slavery and whatnot, I'm talking about slavery, and I'm also going to talk about perhaps the white indentured servant and their role in slavery and what was different about it. Not just saying that only African Americans were slaves, and talk about the fact that Native Americans were used as slaves and what happened to them. And as I move into different portions of history, say going into the 1800s, and I'm talking about the 1920s, when we talk about the Great Depression, it's not in most social studies curriculums that we talk about lynchings and what was going on with migrant farm workers at that time. We talk about the Dust Bowl. We talk about Caucasian families were forced out of their homes, but we don't talk about the Hispanic families that were forced out of their homes. So when we look at our textbooks, we have to make sure that we're representing all cultures and not just the quote-unquote majority culture. And that our pictures, our posters, and things that we're getting educators to decorate our rooms, that we have images that look like everybody, not just this stereotypical light brown hair, greenish-eyed young man and middleweight young lady, but show me an overweight girl with pimples on her face, because that's what my students look like. Show me some kids who are black and brown. Show me the kids in a wheelchair. When you're sending the posters encouraging kids to eat their vegetables and whatnot, they need to be showing me the spectrum. So I think too many people ask educators, what can you do to make it diverse? We need people on the outside. We need the textbook companies to say, what are you doing to change your textbooks? We need Congress that when they're developing when Pennsylvania redevelops their Common Core standards, are they writing in diversity education as part of do we have cultural competency standards, and are they mandated to be taught? If it's not mandated, it's not going to be taught. We don't have cultural competency standards. So schools are not teaching cultural competency because we're worried about the subjects that are mandated. So what the question needs to be looked at is, what are outside people doing? What are the politicians doing? Saying, are you mandating that there's cultural competencies in schools? Or our colleges, are we teaching cultural competencies so that our new educators, when they come in there, they're ready to teach these subjects? Are our textbooks coming in so that when we're teaching, I'm not having to spend hours and hours finding the supplemental material on my own time that I can't spend with my family to teach the subject so that it meets the needs of all of them? Or my posters that I'm just using to decorate my classroom, so that when my little student who's Haitian, when she looks up, she sees a picture of a smiling girl working on math who's as dark skinned as she is, rather than only seeing people who don't look like her. So to make education more diverse, we need people who are on the outside who are willing to come in and give us those tools, because we can teach it, but we need to have the materials to do it. So that's what I would say. That's what I would do to help increase diversity in schools.
Class kids coming from families where there's lots of educational things going on early in life, so from 0 to 5 before they enter formal schooling. And then we have other kids whose parents are really busy working, perhaps uncomfortable with the school environment. For many reasons, less educational things are happening at home. So what the Johnson administration decided to do was create this program called Head Start. And Head Start is a 3- and 4-year-old program that was meant to give kids an introduction to the school environment before formal schooling started.